Hello viewers, welcome to this video. I'm Venkat and this is just me, an open source channel. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how you can use Elastalert to alert to Jira. In my previous video, I used Elastalert um, so that whenever a certain number of entries occur in the Elasticsearch, it will send an alert or notification to your Slack channel. um, how to create a Slack workspace and how you can integrate Elasticsearch with the Slack channel using the incoming webhook integration. That's what we saw in the previous video. So this video is a continuation to that video. So this time, instead of using the Slack as the output plugin, I'm going to be using Jira. So if you don't know what Jira is an agile management tool. If you work in a DevOps or an IT operations environment, you will most likely have used the Jira tool. So for this video, I'm going to be setting up, quickly spin up a Jira instance. That's not a production ready instance. So this video is not about Jira. So that's a big topic. Um, Fortunately, they've got a container, Docker container for Jira, so it'll be quite easy for us to deploy a Jira instance, Jira core instance. So in this video, we'll see how we can integrate the Elasticsearch and then the alerting by Elastalert, and then creating new issues in Jira whenever something happens in your logs. Right, I'm going to bring up my notes here, which I used in my previous video. The setup is quite similar to my previous video. The host machine is still the same. Elasticsearch and Kibana, the version I'm using is the latest one, 7.1.1. They will be run as Docker containers under a single Docker Compose file. And I'll have a client virtual machine, which is an Ubuntu 18.04, where I've installed Filebeat and I'm shipping the system logs to the Elasticsearch. And the Elastalert, as I said in my previous video, you can install Elastalert on any machine. It doesn't have to be the same client machine or in your ELK server. It can be run on any machine. The only requirement is the the Elastalert needs access to the Elasticsearch. So Elasticsearch URL should be reachable from the machine where you set up the Elastalert. So that's the only requirement. And similar to the last video, I've set up Elastalert on the same client machine. So if you haven't watched my previous video, please go through that video before watching this video, because um, all the setups that I'm using in this video is based on my previous video. So I'm not recreating all these containers and the machines Elastalert setup. So I'm gonna start from where I left in the previous video. So the requirement is please watch the previous video for all the setup details. Okay, so in the previous video, we used Elastalert to send notifications to the Slack channel whenever there are some patterns that we find in the Elasticsearch. So this time we are going to use Jira for that. So if I go back to the terminal, um, vi example rules, example frequency. So this should be familiar by now to you. This is the rule file that we used in the previous video. The name of the rule is Slack demo. Type is frequency. Index that we are going to search is filebeat. So I've already opened the Kibana dashboard and the filebeat index. So there are some logs from the Ubuntu client virtual machine, and we are looking for the filebeat index, and the pattern to search is any log entry that has the process.name just me, and if it occurs 3 times within an hour, and an alert will be sent to the Slack channel, and I removed the Slack webhook URL. um, that's from the previous video. Okay, so now first step is to set up the Jira instance. For that, I'm going to use Docker. There's a Docker command that I got from the internet, which you can use to spin up the Jira instance. So by using this command, don't use this in your production environment. This is not production ready. This is just for the development and test environment. Because the instance we are going to deploy is going to use the internal database. So the Jira instance requires a database. So in a proper production environment, you would be using an external database server. You can deploy Jira in Kubernetes cluster. You can deploy a MySQL cluster or any other database in your Kubernetes cluster or external to your cluster. however that works for you. But you will have to use an external database for performance issues. Okay, but for this demo, we're just going to run a single command that spins up a Docker container, and the Jira is going to use an internal database. Okay, the command is docker run minus minus detach publish 8080. So we're going to expose the port 8080 from the Docker container to our host machine so we can access the Jira dashboard on port 8080 on our local machine. And the image, the container image for Jira is this one, Atlassian Jira latest. Okay, let's run this one. Okay, so as I've done this command previously, it has pulled all the Docker images and the layers of the images. If you're running this for the first time, you will see it will take a while to download all the layers of the Jira image. Okay, let's look at the logs. Docker logs minus F, and the container name is, I don't know, Docker PS. And the container name, as you can see here, that's the Elasticsearch container, Kibana container, and the Jira container here. And it's called Clever Euclid. Okay, Docker logs minus F, Clever Euclid. Okay, so Jira should be up and running, but we need to do the configuration part. We just started the Jira instance, but when you start it for the first time, you have to set up your Jira instance. You have to create a project. I'll go through that very quickly, how to create an issue, how to track an issue, how to log work, how to close an issue, and all those things. So basically our workflow is like this. So so imagine you've got an application deployed somewhere, and for example, in the client machine here, you've deployed an application, and whenever that application crashes, it logs an entry to the system log, and then FileBeat sends the log to the Elasticsearch, and we're going to use Elastalert to query the Elasticsearch for that log. So whenever the application crashes, we will query the Elasticsearch for that log entry, and then we will create an issue in Jira, and then the developers can assign the Jira task to themselves and fix it. So that's going to be our workflow. As you can see here, the some basic information, what the heap memory it's using, and the Java options and so on. So our Jira instance should be ready, and you can access it either via localhost colon 8080 or using the IP address of your host machine. If I do netstat minus nlcp, you can see 8080, 9200 is for Elasticsearch, 5601 is for Kibana, and 8080 is for Jira. Okay. 192.168.1.81, that's my IP, and colon 8080. So we are going to set up the Jira for the first time. It's coming up. Okay, let me make it full screen. Set it up for me. Okay, I'll set it up myself. So when you're doing this for the first time, it's better to uh, do it by Jira. We can go with the recommended options. Set it up for me. Continue to my Atlassian. Login. Okay, so when you're doing it for the first time, it's going to ask you for your email address, and you need to sign up. Basically, you need to have a license. It's a paid subscription. You can't use Atlassian product for free, although they give you a trial license. So you need to sign up with your email address, and they'll give you a trial license. Okay, so I've signed up already. Continue. Password. So if you haven't signed up, if you're using this for the first time, it will go through the sign up page. Since I've already signed up, it's asking me for my password. Login. Okay, generate evaluation license. License type core organization, just mean open source. So that's the server ID where I've installed the Jira instance. So generate license. Please confirm that you wish to install the license key on the following server. Yes. Administrator account setup. You can continue with the setup. You're nearly there. Okay. So this is the admin user that you want to create for your Jira instance. Email. Let's use my same email. Username admin. Password admin. Retype password admin. Okay. Next. Configuring your database. Initializing the plugin system. Setting up your Jira environment, finishing the setup. So it's going to take a few minutes to complete. I'm going to pause the video and come back when it's all done. Okay, the setup is complete and Jira is ready to go. Let's get started. Okay, so that's the initial setup screen. English UK, and then welcome to Jira. Choose an avatar if you wish. I'm just going to leave it the default. Welcome. See a project in action. You can create a sample project, or you can import from another Jira instance if you have got. Create a new project. I'm going to create a new project. Project management, there are a few types. I'm not going to go too detail into these, but I'm just going to select project management. Next, project management, the type of issue types, task and subtask. This is important because when you about to configure the rules for Elastalert, you need to specify the issue type, whether it's going to be a task or a subtask, and it's case sensitive. So uppercase T, task. So when you create a task, it can be in any of the three states. So when you initially create a task, it will be in the to-do state, and you can start a progress, at which point it will be in progress, and then when you close the task, it will be done. Okay. Project management, name of the project. So let's say Elast Alert Demo. Elastalert space demo. The project management key, the project key is EL. So that's how you refer to the project. So whenever you create a task, the task will be named 1, 2 in a sequential order. And each task will have a unique ID. The ID will be EL-1, EL-2, the project name followed by the task name. Submit. Okay, so that's your dashboard. And at the moment you don't have any issues, and if you click summary you won't have anything. It will be a blank page. Create your first issue. Okay, let's create our first issue. I'll just quickly go through a life cycle of a task. So what you'll normally do is create an issue, something like summary. There is a problem, fix and do regression testing, something like that. Reporter, due date if you want, when this task needs to be finished by, description, blah blah blah. Some you can describe what the task is, and so on. Assign to me if you want. You can assign it. At the moment, the only user is me. If you want, you can add more users to the Jira instance, and you can assign to anyone. Priority: highest, high, low, medium, and lowest. Estimate. So how long do you think the task is going to take? Let's say 2 hours. Remaining estimate, we haven't done any work, so remaining estimate is 2 hours. Create issue. Okay, the issue is created. You can see the issue here, and we've estimated 2 hours and 2 hours remaining. Let's say you assigned it to a developer, in this case Venkat and myself, and if you want to work on this issue, you're going to click start progress, and the status will be changed to in progress, resolution unresolved, and you don't have any labels or anything. Okay, so you're working on it, and what you normally do is more log work. And let's say you've spent 1 hour on this task, and when did you spend the time, and what did you actually do? I did some testing and found the issue, something like that, and then click log. Okay, and if you go to work log here, you will see your work log. So that's how you add your work logs to it. And here you can see the remaining is 1 hour, and we have logged 1 hour, and there is 1 hour remaining in this task. Okay, so you're done with this task, you've fixed everything, and how do you close it? You can add another work log, log work. I've fixed the issue, and it took me 15 minutes. log, and you will see 1 hour 15 minutes and it's 45 minutes remaining. So now you're going to click done. Okay, has been updated, and now you can see the status is done, resolution is done, and everything is done. Summary, you can see your summary here. If you go to issues again, you won't see anything because the filter we have set is open issues. If you select that and select all issues, that will show you all the issues. At the moment, we only got one issue that's done. Okay, so that's the quick overflow, a life cycle of a task. So what we're going to do is we're going to configure the rules in the Elastalert to create an issue automatically whenever there is a log entry for the application crash. Okay, um, right, let's go back to our terminal. What we need here is, let me go to the Elastalert documentation, rule types and configurations, alerts, Jira. So what is required? So basically there are four important options that you need to give. Jira server. So where is your Jira server? Jira project, which project you're working. Jira issue type, what type of issue you're trying to create. And the Jira account file. The Jira account file is a path to a file that contains the credentials to log into the Jira instance, username and password. So we'll go through each of these, and there are lots of additional components that are optional. Jira component, Jira description if you want to set, Jira label, priority if you can set the priority. 0 is the highest priority, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. You've got so many. You can assign labels, Jira labels. Okay, let's go through them. Jira server. Okay, so I'm gonna leave everything as it is in the rules file. I'm gonna change the name to Jira demo. File bait, number of events, that's all looking good. Just for this demo, I'm just gonna leave the same filter process.name just me. Alert is Jira. Okay, so now we're gonna add Jira underscore server. Is going to be http 192.168.1.81. So that's the IP address of my host machine, which is where the Jira instance is running through Docker proxy. The next thing we need is Jira project. Jira project is EL. Uh, you should remember the key, the project key that we defined when we created the project EL. It's not the project's name, it's the project's key EL. Jira issue type. Jira underscore issue type is task. So we are going to create a task. And then finally, Jira underscore account underscore file. Let's say temp Jira credentials. Okay, that's all needed. Save and close the file, and I'm going to edit temp Jira credentials. User admin. Password is admin. Okay, so we are good to go now, and we can test our alert. Creating a rule. It's okay. Testing your rule. Elastalert test rule. Elastalert test rule minus minus config.yaml. Example rules. Example frequency.yaml. Okay, cool. Everything is working fine. Now we can start running it as a daemon. Python -m elastalert verbose. Let me run this from here. Okay. Python -m elastalert.elastalert -verbose. minus minus rule is example underscore frequency dot YAML. Failed to establish a new connection refused. Okay, I know what I've done wrong. vi example rules example frequency Jira server. If you remember, the Jira is running on port 8080, right? Colon 8080. Now if I run the same command again. Okay, cool. Jira demo. The rule we are running is Jira demo. It's sleeping for a minute, so it runs every minute. 0 matches, 0 alerts sent. Okay, let's we are inside the client machine. Let's do sudo logger minus t, just me. Hello, hello. So we manually entered the log 4 times, and in the the example frequency rule, we've defined if the process.name is just me, then, and if it's more than 3 entries within an hour, it should send an alert, and it should create a task, an issue in the Jira instance. Let's see if it's doing that. If I go to Kibana and if I search for just me, refresh, just me. Okay, I actually send the log files to my host machine, not on my Ubuntu virtual machine. Vagrant SSH. Okay, so now I'm inside my virtual machine. Sudo logger minus t, just me. Hello. Okay, and if I refresh 1 time, and it will take a little while, 3 times, and there you go. So we've got it for 4 times. And the next time it runs, as you can see here, open Jira ticket EL2, and 1 matches, 1 alert sent. So now if we go to Jira instance, it should have created a Jira task for us. Let's check that. Okay, issues. There you go, EL2. So that's the issue that that's got created. If I select all issues, EL1 is the one that we created manually. That's done. And EL2, 1 is the task name, 2 is the task name, EL is the project key. So to uniquely identify the task, it's the project name followed by the task name. So EL2, so that's the one that got created as an alert. As you can see here, this is the description, and that's the task name, Elastalert demo. So that's the task name. Priority by default, if you don't specify any priority, it's medium by default. We haven't assigned any labels. Status is to do. We haven't started it. So now you can assign it to any of your developers and then fix this issue. So that's how it works. Okay, now let's try and modify, um, add additional options to the rules file. So let's say we need to change the description, and we need to change the labels, we need to change the priority. Let's see how it all works. Okay, I'm gonna stop that, and I'm gonna edit example rules, example frequency.yaml, and here I'm going to say Jira underscore priority is 0 for the highest. Let's see if rule types and configurations, alerts, Jira, Jira description, similar to alert underscore text. Okay, there is this Jira labels and Jira priority. Okay, Jira priority is 0, Jira underscore labels. Label can be a single string, say regression, or it can be you can assign multiple labels using the dictionary list format. Let's say regression app version 1, something like that. And if you want to change the description and you don't want the automatic uh, description like this one, which doesn't make any sense, let's change that. Okay, so there is this option called alert text. Let's say the text that we want to add to our task is um, application crashed, please fix it. And the alert text underscore type is alert underscore text underscore only. Let's save that and run the command again. Okay, so that's running. Let's log another um, log entries 3 times. Okay, and if I go here to the Kibana dashboard and if I refresh, you should see more entries. Yeah, that's there. So count is 4, and that's the count 4 for the previous attempt we did. Okay, so we've got all these log entries here, and the Elastalert queries this Elasticsearch data every minute, and then the next run, it should pick up the alerts. It should pick up the matches and then send the alerts to the Jira, and it will create EL3, the third task, and then we can see whether it has set the priority, labels, and the description as we defined. Okay, so EL3 opened Jira ticket EL3, and it has found 4 query hits, 1 alerts sent. So now let's go to the Jira dashboard. Issues. EL2 is the one that was created previously. And you can see here, no labels, priority is medium by default. We didn't define any priority, and the description is the default payload from the Elastalert. So EL3 is the one that got created, opened recently, and you can see priority is highest because we set Jira underscore priority to 0. Labels, you can see we have assigned a couple of labels, app version 1, regression, and the description, application crashed, please fix it. Okay, so that's how you um, modify it. So there are other options if you are interested. If you go to alerts and Jira, there are additional options that you can um, include in your rules file. So it's quite useful. Okay, let's close that and exit out of it. Okay, cool. I think that's all I wanted to show you in this video. I don't want to drag this video too long. And I hope this was useful. If you don't find it useful, or if you have some problems understanding the concept, please don't hesitate to ask me in the comment section. I'll be more than happy to help you in the comments. So if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. And in the next few videos, I'm going to be looking at a few other output plugins. So we've looked at Slack, we've looked at Jira. I think in the next video, I'm going to try the email option. So whenever you find some certain patterns in your logs, the Elastalert will send an email to a group of people. So that's what I'm going to try in my next video. And then there is also a command output. So whenever you get some patterns in your log entry based on the fields in the log, you can run certain scripts. So we can see all those things in the upcoming videos. And thank you so much for your time watching this video. I will see you all in my next video. Bye bye.